Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and I am continuing my Final Girl Series 3 series, double series. And we are doing the Tormentor at Marrek Warehouse, which is actually, in reality, called something. They all have titles, and I always forget what the titles are. This one is called, The Marrek Murders. And I had no idea what this was based off of, but it is very Saw-like. The Tormentor, this one actually has a decent amount of rules. I'm very excited to see how it works out. Because the Tormentor does not start on the board until the finale card is revealed, which is basically going through the terror deck. So I have to try and save these victims while also saving them from these traps that they're in. So that's going to be very fascinating. Let's learn a little bit about them, shall we? Okay. Lord the Tormentor. The air pushed against her as she fell. She jumped out of countless airplanes in her life, but this would be her last. Carrie just didn't know it yet. She dove and spun around a few times, trying some new tricks she'd seen on her favorite videotape, air stunts for awesome people. Then finally, she decided to pull her chute. It was a bit sooner than normal, but she wanted to enjoy the scenery for a bit longer today. She pulled on the ripcord. Jammed! She pulled again, harder this time. The thing was really stuck. Only a little nervous, Carrie pulled on the secondary cord of her emergency backup. The pin popped, but the chute failed to emerge from the container. Now, nervousness was turning to panic. She was at 5,000 feet now. There was still time, but she had to hurry. 4,000 feet. She ripped at the container, but her gloved hand couldn't pry the mechanism enough to release the chute. 3,000 feet. 2,000 feet. She was mere seconds from smashing into the planet when the chute partially pulled. The drag created enough to save her life, but her body was completely broken. The months that followed were excruciating, first physically, but then mentally and emotionally. Carrie reflected on her life and realized she hadn't lived. She hadn't enjoyed life and had taken it all for granted. She vowed to never take life for granted again, and furthermore, to make sure other people didn't either. She realized the power of her near-death experience. 3 years later. Carrie Bell would never move exactly the same as she could before, but the fact that she could walk and move around at all was basically a miracle. She'd begun work at a rehab clinic helping those that society had failed get their lives back together. At first, she was fulfilled, but then the same patients kept returning. Well, they didn't value life. They didn't learn what she had learned. And then she realized it. They hadn't faced death in an instant. No, they were just dying a slow, long death. And it was doing nothing to make them value the precious life they'd been given. Carrie decided on a new tactic. Anonymity would be required, so she patched together an outfit and put on her mask. Kelsey was on her 4th stint and was probably a day or two from escaping or convincing someone to get her out with some sob story. Carrie had seen it all before. Carrie stuck Kelsey with a shot of M99. The rehab center kept some on hand for emergencies, so it wasn't hard to get a hold of some. Hours later, Kelsey awoke in a dark room. She was gagged, and her hands and feet were bound to the chair she sat in. An electronically modified voice came from the shadows.
Hello, Casey. For longer than you could probably remember, your life has been about one thing: getting to the next high. You don't care who gets hurt or what the consequences are. And you certainly don't care about your own life. Or perhaps I am wrong.
The masked figure that would become known as the Tormentor emerged from the shadows.
Let's find out.
The Tormentor explained the rules and that Kelsey had 2 minutes to unbind her hands and feet before the swinging blades above her lowered far enough to take her life.
The blades can save your life, Kelsey, or they can take it. The decision is yours.
Suddenly, a clock began ticking and the blades above started swinging in wide arcs. Lowering gradually with each new arc. Kelsey screamed into the gag and began applying force to her bound arms and legs. Mascara ran down her cheeks as she struggled and cried. The blades came closer and closer. Then she remembered something her captor said.
The blades can save your life.
As the blades arched just a foot or so from her head, Kelsey pushed back against the chair, pushing as much as she could from her bound feet, and the chair rocked back some. The blades were inches from her head, and she gave one last push. The chair wobbled and finally fell, but not before the edge of the blade finally sliced into the top of her head. Another millimeter, and it would have sliced into her skull. Now, on her back, she had a few seconds to think. She knew she had to slice her binds with the blades. How she was positioned, there was no way to avoid the blades slicing up her hands and legs. She braced herself for the pain and tried to move so as to have the blades slice only the edge of her hands, but it seemed unlikely that she could save her feet. The blade sliced through the flesh and bone, and she screamed as her fingers and hands were shredded by the first blade and her ankles were cut into by the second. God! She gasped, and when the binds were finally cut 3 swings later, she fell away from the chair and onto the floor, laying as flat as possible. The blades approached her mutilated body, so she closed her eyes and rolled over to the side of the room to avoid the arc. She braced for an impending death. Dang it. That was clapping. She heard as the tormentor re-emerged from the shadows and knelt beside her, removing the gag.
Congratulations, Kelsey. You've chosen to live.
Kelsey tried to stand and realized her feet were no longer attached. Her hands were minced to shreds. Carrie left and anonymously called emergency services, giving them the location of the event and describing Kelsey's injuries. When she hung up, she smiled and said in a low voice to herself,
Now your new life can begin, Kelsey, and it seems mine has too.
She picked the phone back up and began dialing channel 7. Nice. Alright, yeah, so 1,000,000% Saw. And the final girl for this is I have chosen to play Mandy. I didn't look at the back of the ability, so we'll see if this is helpful. But let's learn about Mandy. Mandy Williams was supposed to be a doctor. At least that's what her parents wanted for her. Mandy never wanted to save people. She found much greater joy in kicking their asses. Fighting for a living is her goal, but now she's a line worker at Marrek warehouse so she can pay the bills. She trains in MMA at night and is paying her dues waiting for her opportunity, her one shot. She never expected that the fight of her life would happen at her place of work. Alright. So, gonna do the gruesome deaths again. We have, the Tormentor, which is on 32 through 39. Yes. Okay. Put that off to the side. Now, so here's how it works. The Tormentor has, quite a few rules, but it's mainly more for edge cases. She doesn't start on the board, and there are all these traps. And basically, if anything refers to positioning of her, maybe a tarot card or something, we actually keep the extra setup cards off to the side and just flip those and reference the K spot in relation to whatever it's asking us. She does not show up until this final, until the final finale card is revealed. But there are 2 types of traps. There are victim traps and final girl traps. And they have conditions to be met for them. So we start actually with the very first one. So how appropriate in the story, we're seeing one of our co-workers attached to swinging blades. These swinging blades will slowly lower. You'll have to hope someone saves you in time. I was supposed to put a victim on there. But yeah, they will progress until they eventually die, but it causes me to... There we go. There he is, right there, under the swinging blades. So as they progress, then I'm going to suffer the effects, which would be terror, losing time until they finally die, which would increase bloodlust. But there are these steps that I can take when I'm in the spot of the trap to help them escape. So the swinging blades, for example, the very first one I have to do is I have to time the blades, which costs me 5 time, which is a lot. That's basically all I'm doing. Then I have to cut the ropes and deal 2 damage. And what it explains is the damage has to be done at once. So if I did, a weak attack isn't gonna cut it. because that can at best do 1 damage, and I need to do at least 2. But you can use items and stuff, so I could use if I got the 44 Magnum, I could use that to cut the ropes. And oh yeah, the 44 Magnum. Oh, could not modify the weak attack card. That makes sense. Or if I just had the chainsaw would outright do it. But you don't get to use the effects of the items for those. And then lastly, dive to safety, move 2 spaces. So I would have to find ways to move 2 spaces. And then that gets completed and they are saved. The death trap I can also be drawn in for myself, and would pretty much have to do the exact same thing to be able to escape from that. However, if I do not escape from the final girl death trap by the end of it, then I die, and you don't even get to see your final health. You are just killed. So, yeah. Progressing death traps, that's going to be basically her finale icon that advances all meeples or miniatures in the case of me on the death traps. So at the beginning of her turn, she's going to be advancing these. That's pretty much it. Yeah, there are actually bottoming terror cards now, so it might have an icon on it that puts it at the bottom of the deck instead of getting discarded. If an untrapped victim is with me, and I'm trapped, they actually add +1 to my rolls, which is very nice. But it's only ever +1. I can't have like 5 of them with me and then a 1 becomes a 6 or something. So that is the Tormentor. Trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, if you're trapped, you can't play reaction cards, you can't attack, you can't search. You pretty much can only do ways that will allow you to get out of the trap. And yeah. And then there's a no escape finale, which we don't even know if that's it. So then we go into Marrek Warehouse. And this one's a lot more simple. The locations are locked, so I have to find ways to unlock them. However, I can either find ways to unlock them, or there are timed clicks in the terror deck that will unlock them. And that's actually not necessarily seeded, but we know the first 2 terror cards are not click cards. So you take 2 of them off the top, set them aside, shuffle the 3 click cards in the deck, and then put the 2 back on top. And then there are rack spaces, so it's these red locations. I pretty much need climb or leap to, climb is the only way I can actually go into the red spots. And how I get a climb card, which they're over here, but there's climb and leap. How I get a climb is I can discard a walk to just take it, and then leap, I can also discard a walk. If I discard a sprint, I can take both. Leap allows me to move from one red area to another area. However, there is a chance that I fall. And that's... Oh yeah, and then there's the pit. The pit has a forklift in it, and I can only get the forklift if I can find the forklift keys. But if anyone panics from the pit, then I actually roll 2 dice. So yeah, that's it. That is what I'm doing. So actually, I need to do my event. Tumbling boxes. Oh god, there were severed heads in the boxes. Place the 4 severed head tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4. In 4 different non-adjacent spaces. When you move into a space with a severed head token, raise horror and then remove it from play. Alright, gross. 4 different non-adjacent, non-adjacent spaces. Well, let's have one in the pit, I guess. And one up here. And there's a first aid. I kind of want the chainsaw. When you use the chainsaw, add the X effect to the end of the act. Oh, so it's only a one-time use. I mean, chainsaw would be nice to just have. That's at the receiving area, which is down here. Magnum is up in the manager's office. Makes sense. We work at the warehouse, and people might want to attack him. Let's put one in the supply cage. Alright, so now... So I can't rescue anyone right now, but I could carry them. So let's go ahead. You know what? Let's focus right off the bat, just because... I mean, luckily, for some weird reason, the horror for the Tormentor is 3. Alright, well... Do I discard 2 cards already? Yeah, weak attack and short rest aren't going to be doing much. Alright, so there's 1 success on that focus, so I lose a time and a horror. And let's focus again. Let's just really go ham. See if we can lower that. Alright, I will take that. 2 5s. Which is going to be lowering horror and gaining 2 time. That's perfect. Because I need to... Oh, I'm going to lose horror by going through the pit. That was dumb. That was dumb of me. So instead, I didn't place that into the pit. I put it over there. Because I would like to go through the pit to save old Bobby from the swinging blades. Also, there's a fail result if they die. So... It's not great. It's not great. Okay, well now I'm gonna walk. And now I get to roll 3. Yay! Yay, 2 6s. So that is going to be 2 movement. But I think I'm gonna go 1. Be like, guys, come with me. We gotta go save Bobby. Why? What happened to Bobby? Well, he's under some swinging blades. That looks horrifying. And now we're gonna walk again. That's wow, 2 6s or 6 and 5 and 5. You know, they've never really done much for like anything with 3 successes, which is interesting. That's my entire hand, but we're gonna go. We're coming, Bobby. Yeah. Fuck you, bitch. Don't know where you're at, but only a pussy hides in the shadows. And, oh yeah, well, both of those cost... Oof. You know, okay, so I lose my thing. I'm gonna lose my horror by advancing, which is definitely going to happen. But I think I'd rather have the time. I could, do the, time the blades, but it's not really going to do me any good when I have no cards that I can play. So we're going to end there and go to the planning. I think I'm going to spend 2 and 4. I'm going to grab a sprint and a search. Yes. That's what I'm going to do. And I have 1 left, so might as well just grab a sexy close call. And then all my zeros are going to go there. Just so I can do something. And now, Killer can advance. He's like, oh dear God, please help me. Now, actually, work together. Work together! At least 1 untrapped victim is in a space with you. You may add +1 to the horror rolls when you are resolving action cards towards completing escape test. Okay, cool. That does help. Alright, so did that. Now we got terror. Tick tock. Speed up the clock. If no victims are trapped, okay. Victims are trapped. So this one says it would bottom, so this would actually go back. But this one is going to get discarded because a victim is trapped, and those blades start swinging a little bit faster. So I already lost some time. That sucks! And just... okay, it's like, actually, you know what, Bobby? You remember whenever you didn't cover my shift the other day. This is karma. And okay, so that was that. Then no panic phase and no upkeep. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now I kind of just want the chainsaw for if I make it to the finale. So that's kind of... Do I just do it? I don't have a way to actually deal damage though, that's the problem. So is Bobby already gonna die? Do I spend the 5 time to... Because I can't do 2 damage. That's the thing. That's the thing. I could discard the sprint that I got to climb and leap. Let's see. Climb may only be played while adjacent to a red space. That's good. Which is, yeah, move to an adjacent, what are they called? Rack space. Move to an adjacent rack space. That, and then leap, move directly to another. Yeah? It's still going to cost me time. The hard part is because all these are locked, I can't really get them out. But I also don't necessarily want to get them out. At least not all of them. Let's... Because I also have to cut the ropes and then dive to safety, move 2 spaces. That's brutal. Is it gonna be like is it gonna be beneficial to go get the chainsaw just in case? I have 2 uses of it. And it really only lets me use an action card once. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I am going to lose a lot of horror just from these swinging blades. Okay. So I am going to discard the sprint to grab climb and leap. And that will just be nice to have, even though if I would need to get another sprint. But I'm getting all these 0 cards back, so actually I think I'll immediately play the climb. So I'm back to 2 dice. Okay, so 1 success. That's brutal. So that's losing 2 time, but I do get to move into an adjacent red space. But I don't want to leap. I don't need to leap. Oh, I also don't need... I can climb down, but I don't have another way to move. Alright, yep, I'm going to stop there. I got my leap if I need it. So I have 3 time, but I'm getting all my 0s back, which is nice. And I only have 3. Let's spend 2 and grab the sprint again. And that'll be that. Then we're going to advance on that, which is going to raise horror. And then we're going to have a terror card. Okay. We'll be safer up there. All victims adjacent to rack spaces panic. Okay. That is... Okay, so if you're not on a rack space, then you're basically panicking. Okay. Well, let's see. So we got a 4, so this person is... Oh, there isn't it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so I guess they're staying here. That one is a 6, so they're going to run up onto the rack. The one at the manager's office is a 2, which is going to stay there. Yep, it's only 3 to 6. Then we are these two. Got a 3, yep, running up on the rack space, and a 6. Hey, all right, good deal. Then we have the 2 that came with me to go help Bobby. We got a 2. I'm trying to see the spaces. It's pretty okay. So a 2 is actually here, and then a 4 is into the pit, and then those 2. Got a 1 into the receiving area, and a 3. All right. And the killer doesn't target anyone, so that is that. All right, that's not too bad. Maybe I'll get a click pretty early on. And I have 6. I have, again, no way to deal a significant amount of damage right now. Although I could go get the chainsaw to cut the rope, so it would be such a waste, but I also don't want Bloodlust to go up, or because it's all going to cost time anyways. The first one, that Time in the Blades, that is rough. 5 total time. All right, let's see if I get lucky. So, because I'm going to focus. I did! 5 and a 6. How nice. So, lowering horror, gaining 2 time. See if I get lucky again. And focus again. Just got to think. Brain blast! God damn, another 5 and a 6. Hell yeah. So, lowering horror and gaining 2 more time. Okay, so this should work. So, let's walk. I'm rolling 3 dice now. Nice. So that's going to let me move 2 spaces. So I'm going to hop down. 1, 2. You guys can stay up there. Yes, because I wanted to go to the receiving area, and I still have my search. Walking did lose me time. Ooh, 5 and a 6. Usually don't get 2. Take the top 2 item cards of your space and choose one. Place the other on top, face up, or underneath, face down. Okay, so which will cost me a time. So it's either the chainsaw, which is what I'm most likely going to grab, or the forklift keys. Forklift. You may now use the forklift. The forklift may move with you, but may not enter search or rack spaces. While with the forklift, you may spend a time to safely move a victim from an adjacent rack space to your space. Oh, I can get them down. I can get them down? Do I want to get them down? I'm going to put the forklift keys actually back on top. And I am going to take the chainsaw. Okay. Yeah, so now I know where the forklift keys are, so how appropriate that they're at there. It's always interesting. I don't know how they do it, but the item, it's such a small thing, but the item cards are some of my favorite parts of this game because they always seem to be very thematic no matter where they're at. Like the forklift keys would have made sense if they were in the manager's office and the receiving area, because that might be where we're picking up stuff with the forklift. Even the supply cage. Oh, yep, that's just where they're stored. It's pretty great. So, now I have a sprint, which would allow me to get there if I get... I mean, I've been getting pretty rock-solid rolls right now. Oh, shit. Okay. Yep, so there's another 5 and a 6. So that's going to let me move 3 spaces. And since that person ran up, like seeing the swinging blades, it's like, hey, I bet you if we're up there, we're safe. And then they all ran up there. But I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, which cost me time. And then I am going to... Oh, wait, no. Okay, then I'm going to spend 5 time to time the blades. Unless it advances twice, which I will be very upset. Because if I use the chainsaw to modify my attack card, it's going to end the action. Which is not great. Yeah, action phase immediately ends. That's what I thought that symbol is. So do I guess I just do it now and just hope. It's going to advance, but it's going to cause me to lose some time, but maybe it won't go twice. I'm going to risk it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I'm solid there. And then oops. Oh, shit. I spent 5. I think I have 2 time left. And I mean, that's going to be 1 use of my chainsaw to cut the ropes, which is definitely more than 2 damage, but it does end the action phase. So not amazing. And then I have 2 time left. I guess we will do a sprint, because I need to move at least 2 spaces. And go up to 6. These are, well, the sprint's not. The sprint's right there. And the search. And these are all 0s. So, gonna advance. Move. I know we're cutting it close. Hey, cutting it close. Don't advance again. Oh, thank God. Click! If an effect causes this card to be discarded, unlock the exit as described below, but do not apply any other effects. The main entrance is now unlocked. Thank God. Draw the next tarot card. Okay, that's not amazing. But good, they don't muddy up the... Okay. Were they pushed? Oh, that's insane. Okay, so the Tormentor is not targeting anyone. Just want to double check that. Yeah, there's just... Yeah, all killer actions are ignored. Okay. All victims in... Okay. Well, not amazing. All victims in rack spaces panic. If after panicking they are no longer in a rack space, they fall to their death and are killed. Okay, so there is a chance that they don't... It's a 1. I need to roll a 1. Nice. They're fighting for dominancy up on the rack spaces. Alright, so individually... Whoops. Oh, he was pushed. God, I hope. Alright, so... Yep. 5. Ah! So, that's dead, which is going to increase. That one's brutal. They all ran up there and then they got shoved off. So discard a random action card. Okay. Maybe this one. Okay. That's fine. So that was my sprint, which... Okay, I still have a walk. Okay. Whoo! Might still need luck. So then we're on this person. Yep. I guess he followed suit. So dead. Then we're over here. Hey, got a 1. This person is alive. Then we're on this one. That's a bitch. That's a 2. Lands on the springs of the forklift. So dead. Dark power. Unfair traps. For all death traps. Oh my God. Escape tasks requirements are all increased by 1. So I have to be able to move 3 spaces. So after all that time, I can't even get him out. Because I just lost that sprint for the discarding a random action card. Alright. Well, that fucking sucks. Oh wait, no, they add plus. Oh no, it adds to my result, not to the value. All right, so then we're here. 6, so falls off, dies, and then that last person, and A4 falls off and dies, and I gotta discard another random action card. You know what? It's leap, sure. It's not sleeved. All these cards are sleeved because they're touched the most. Ugh. Well, shit. Well, that sucked. Waste of my chainsaw. And yeah, that's pretty brutal. But now I can save some people. I'm not gonna get there right now, or at all. But I'll walk, I guess. Sorry, Bobby. You're on your own. Okay, so that's gonna be 2 spaces, which would have been nice. I'd lose the time, but if we just don't look, it didn't happen. We're gonna head. We're gonna go this way. Shh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, just turn on the machines, and we can't hear him scream. And that's it. That's all I got. So that sucks. As he advances and that's what we hear. Oh yeah, actually I forgot I had the gruesome death. Hey, were they pushed? From his vantage point high up on a rack, Trevor could see all throughout the small warehouse. He could see several individuals locked up in all manner of death traps. Trevor had been caught in one too, but he had managed to escape, and was now content to wait here until some proper help arrived. Suddenly, he heard a loud blare somewhere to the left of him. Trevor screamed and, in his panic, lost his footing on the rack. With a loud crack, Trevor landed on the warehouse floor. His bones felt like glass shards inside of him. Trevor lay still and waited for the pain to stop. Yep, that's that. Oh, they have the Tormentor death traps in here. Cool. Swinging blades. So that's going to go there, which I think I advanced that. Pretty sure I did. And that is the death trap. Jeremy. Huh. This entire time I thought his name was what was it? Bobby? Bobby? Damn it, Bobby. Oh. Maybe that's what he was screaming at me. My name's not Bobby. Jeremy let out another scream of fear as the swinging blade slowly dropped towards his prone body. Why was this happening to him? What had he done wrong? His mind spun rapidly, trying desperately to think of a way to escape, but nothing came up. Back and forth the blade swung, blowing a gust of air onto his helpless face with each loop. He screamed as the blade sliced the top of his nose off, and then swung back to chop it off at the base. He finally went silent as the blade smashed into the side of his head. Ew! Gross. Alright. This is not going amazingly. I might... Oh, and I raised terror because I failed. Well, we are now at the... Did I? Oh shit, hold on. I think I forgot to do the whole planning phase. I'm going to get my cards back. I have 4 time to spend. Let's spend 3 of it to get distraction and just keep focus low. Or I should have grabbed a sprint, actually. Well, we'll say I discarded my short rest as well, so I could have gotten an extra time. So I have 2, and then I'll spend that 2 for a time. And now we're at 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. So now I do the killer phase, which was increase that to kill him. So the swinging blades are now gone. And terror card. Click, click. Hey! Alright. Loading dock B is now unlocked. So that's nice. I draw an event. The supervisor. What are you two doing in there? Are those packing peanuts? Place the supervisor and 2 new victims in the supply cage with the severed head. No, sir, it's not packing peanuts. It's a severed head. When panicking, victims in the supervisor space roll 1 die and move all victims according to the result. Oh, okay. Well, that is how nice, because that actually clarifies that I am supposed to be rolling individually. And then I draw another terror card. Give me the damn card. Okay, you have no respect for life. If no victims are trapped. Okay. Which is fine. No one is trapped. Okay. We have to help! If there are no victims on the board, there are. If there are no death traps in play, raise terror. Horror, whatever it's called. Alright. Fascinating. But now I can save some people! Thank God. Thank God. You know, it's interesting, because the panicking wouldn't happen because there's no killer on the board. So when they die, it's everyone's not going to freak out. Nice. And just double checking. Yes. Yeah, so no new traps. And now it is my turn. And I would like to do some distraction. I can handle that. I can handle 1 success there. That gives me a time and lowers horror. I can then focus. Still 2 dice. 5 and a 6. Sexy as hell. Lowers horror. So you know what? Actually, I think Jeremy was... I think he put in his 2 weeks. I think he was, I think he was about to quit. So maybe it's our boss. Maybe this is what it feels like to work at Amazon. Oh, Gotti! Alright, now that I got some hotness, let's start saving some fucking people. So now I get to roll 3 dice. Main entrance is unlocked. Let's go ahead and lose a time and re-roll all this, because that was ass. There we go. There we go. Thank you for landing on what I needed you to. So we are going to move 2 spaces. Yeah. And we're going to go 1 and carry both you out, which we're going to lower horror and give me my time back. Whoop. Then, yeah, funny enough, come to think of it, that forklift might have been very nice to have, considering all the people thought they were safe up on the rack, and then they all lost their balance and fell and died. At least with the forklift, I could have helped them down. Then, kind of want to avoid the heads. Weak attack and focus isn't going to do much right now. I do still have my sprint. So let's play my sprint. 6. Ooh, almost 6, 6, 6. I'll take 2 6s though. And that will let me move 3 spaces. And let's see. I told you I'd come back for you. 1, 2, and then I'm going to start heading back this way. 3. So, yay, you're saved, which allows me to move 1 space. Manager's office does have the gun. And as far as I'm aware, this is just one person, one singular person. Doesn't modify weak attack, but if I at least get Furious Strike, that would potentially do 3 damage on top of my chainsaw doing 3 damage. And then that weak attack, disrupt and hit the Tormentor when she shows her ass. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll move into the manager's office. I heard the manager keeps a loaded Magnum in his desk. I'll leave it there. So I still got some nice people to save. Wouldn't be awful. So now I have 7 time We are going to spend 4 of that on a Furious Strike. Don't really have any movement, but that's okay. Then I'll spend 2 of that on a Search. And just for the shit, spend 1 to get this close call. And that is that. So no movement, so chances are someone's probably going to get put into... Oh, well, I can grab these. So I have some movement. Distraction is going back there, and these zeros. Alright, so I have some movement. Chances are I'm going to at least get the Magnum. And now it is their turn. So no trap is going on. So now we're just doing a terror. Oh, well, shit. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. What am I doing? Oh. If you're trapped, nope, I am trapped! Damn it! He knew I was going for the gun. So the Slicer. Man, this person just loves cutting people up. Okay, this is not the worst. So my favorite, reciprocating knives will dismember you piece by piece. So there's the Slicer. Here's me. And now I just gotta find the icon. Oh, I found it. Yep. Oh man, I see these knives were used on the old manager. So, all right, that's not actually that bad, which is nice. It is the panic phase, upkeep phase. So now it's action phase. So first thing, I need to avoid the knives, which is just take a damage, which I will. I'll take the damage, which goes right there. And then lastly, dive to safety, move 1 space, and take a damage. I can do that. I can get out of here. So I do have a walk, and someone is in the manager. Maybe that's the manager. He's all cut up, but he musters a willpower because I'm employee of the month, and he is going to help me, so I get to add +1. That's perfect. That 4 turns to a 5, so that's 2 successes. Oh, that's right. I had to move. For all death traps, escape task requirements are all increased by 1. I'm going to say that the number is increased by 1, not the damage, because that would just be broken. So I had to move at least 2 spaces. Luckily, with the manager's help, he pulls me to safety, and I succeed in escaping from that half-baked trap. So I do still take the damage, though. Nice. So no death for me from that. That would just be embarrassing. And then I can't remember if I escape. Does that end? I don't think it ends the round. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so and those cards get removed, but we'll be fine now. Oh, I have my short rest. And I have a search. So let's go ahead while I'm here. It's like, oh, thanks, boss. I think I need your gun. All right, well, 1 success. So I don't get to choose either. I came here for the gun. So it's going to cost me a time. And speaking of which, walking also cost me a time. And I'm going to grab the gun. 44 Magnum cannot modify weak attack cards. That's okay. Just gonna put that in my pocket. Unfortunately, I have no movement. Use my walk too. Well, actually, it said move. Oh no, I don't get to use the card. It just allowed me to get the movement that I needed. That's fine. I could use a breather while I'm here. Use this nice little short rest. 5. Heal 1 and lose a time. Or let's play close call and re-roll any 1 die. Okay, there we go, 5. So 2 5s, which gives me my healing of 2. just, you know, put some bandages on from the little kitchen knives that kind of cut me a little bit. Is this the best you got, Tormentor? You bitch. I said pitch. I was going to say pussy and bitch. And then I just ended up insulting her and stuttering, and it was awful. So actually put me back in the trap. I want to die now. I think we'll leave it there. So we got 4 time to spend. 2 of that is certainly going to be on sprint. And I'm going to grab my zeros back. You know what? I think I'm going to spend both of them on some sprints. Maybe I'll grab the climb and leaps, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are good. Close call goes there. Search, and the rest are zeros. Nice. Yeah, perfect. So now no time spent, or no death trap increase. Then we got, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, well, never mind. I'm trapped again. She's like, you fool, that was the preliminary trap. Now, to get out, now I gotta get out of the razor maze. Oh, God. Well, escape is easy. Simply crawl through the way. The way's a while. Well, there I am. Manager's office was just really booby-trapped. First, move carefully. Move 1 space. Move 2 spaces, then 3 spaces, then 2 spaces. Well, unfortunately, I can't do both. I can't do all 3 this round, so that's pretty ass. Okay. That sucks. Well, let's go ahead and keep on trucking. You know what? I think I'm gonna focus. Just focus on the okay. Let's see if I can see the path. That's the best way to go. This bitch isn't even scary because my horror's going down and I'm gaining 2 time, but because I can't go down anymore, that's actually 3 time. So now I've methodically mapped out the way the razor wire is. So now I'm gonna walk. I just need 2 successes. So there's 1, and let's get rid of a focus. I have 2 sprints. Let's do the focus and weak attack to turn that into a success. So there's the first segment, which is going to cost time. The first segment to move 2 spaces with that walk. Then, I think I'm going to just do the 1 sprint. Hopefully. Yes, there it is. So that's 3 spaces. And I think, yeah, like I said, I'm going to catch my breath, hold on to my last sprint, and even though I'll take a damage, because if I save this person, then I can heal 1, and hopefully it's just the 1. So I'm gonna hold on to my stuff and my time, which, yes, you still lose the time for doing this. Got it. So now I got 7 time to get out of here. So we're gonna grab these back. I think 6 and 1. Let's do a close call and critical blow. And really just wait for this person to show herself. Hopefully. And I have Furious Strike and critical blow now, so that will allow me to modify my Magnum, which would just be disgusting. And that's it. So I'm going to advance on the razor wire. All my careful planning still, I'm just like, ow! So I take a damage. And then the terror card. You don't deserve to live. If there are no victims on the board, there are. So a victim that matches the first applicable condition below is trapped in the escape space furthest from you. There's no one there. Yeah. In an escape space. In a space adjacent to an escape space. So, this one. Yep, so... Man, she just had a vendetta. So this person becomes trapped in... Oh, shit. The reverse bear trap. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, that's awful. So there's that. And that's funny that the unfair trap is actually the picture of the reverse bear trap. So there they are. I see how people were losing their heads. I don't even get to attack them. But luckily, no extra damage to me. So I should be good. Oh yeah. And these are gone now. Oh, all these are zeros. How nice. That was killer phase, nothing else. So to save them from the reverse bear trap, I have to spend 4 time, which finding the key, then I need to spend 4 more time to unlock the mechanism. All while, yeah, that's just causing horror to increase before they die. Alright, well, let's go ahead and make it through this barbed wire. Hopefully. Yes, I do. So that is going to be the 2 spaces I need to get out of here. So I'm back. And it says actually these get removed from the game. So it is actually interesting that you can get trapped instead of just running around saving. I like that. It makes it 1 thematic and 2. Because if it was just running around saving those people, that would kind of get... I feel like it would get a little tedious, but it's also not happening a lot this game. Alright, now... Well, that cost me time. Let's sprint. Finally get this dude out of here. Hell yeah. So that's going to be 3 spaces. Come on! Before another trap springs. 1, 2. And that's going to be used to heal me. And 3. See if I can save them. I like having horror low. These traps are kind of shoddy. It seems like the person who did this was just kind of like a part-time employee. Didn't really know how to use a drill. Like, this reverse bear trap isn't even like torqued all the way, so it's barely going to kill him. And that was... Yeah, I did the walk. And then, so I have 4. Ooh, that gets removed, actually. And horror goes up. You know, I will spend the 4. I'll spend the 4 time to look for the key. Found it! And now I'm out of time. So, now we're going to go to the planning phase. I have no time to spend, so all I can get are my 0 cards back. And walk goes there, and sprint is there. So, unfortunately... It's still terrifying for them, so that's going to go up, raising horror. We have to help! All victims move 1 space towards the nearest death trap. Oh, gladly. Hey, yeah, supervisor, thank you. Thanks for coming in. That's it. That's it, yeah. Yeah, you all do need to help. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Now it's going to be easier to save all of you. I just need to save 1 of you. But I can still get all of you out. I have a bunch of cards now. So that was just the stupid killers. Actually, you know what? I forgot. It's 4 time, but I think based off the unfair trap, it would have been 5 times, so I didn't have enough. So I would have had to discard a card. We'll say it was the close call to get the extra time to spend 5 of. And now, it's back to me. And straight up, I'm going to spend 5 time to unlock the mechanism, which saves them. That's there. How nice. Come on. Come on, give it to me. Falls, loud thunk around them. It's like, all right, now let's get all of you out of here. By walking. We're just going to walk out. Safety first, single file line. We don't know where she's at, but she's hiding, so clearly she's not trying to do anything. Ooh, I'm only rolling 2 dice now. 2 cards. Okay, I don't need to heal. Short rest, and we'll do weak attack. So 1 success with that walk, and let's get you out of here. I'm gonna carry 2 of you. Just now, I think, yeah, you can still rescue them even though you don't get anything. So move to the main entrance. This person becomes saved, and now I unlock my ability. So that's pretty cool. Let's put all them right here. And I do get to move 1 space. So let's actually move 1 space back to come and get you next time. Add 2 damage to attacks made without a weapon or item. You cannot use this ability with reaction cards. Oh, for each victim saved, I get... That's right. I get 1 time. Nice. To attacks made without a weapon or an item. Alright. Oh, because I'm UFC, so I'm just going to whoop ass, so my weak attack is actually going to be pretty appropriate. I think I'll use critical blow on her when she shows up, if I make it. Hopefully I do. But I do have 1 time. Might as well spend that and grab a close call. And my 1-0 card back. And that's it. All of these will go here. Time is there. No traps to accelerate, so we're on to the tarot card. There's 3 left. Hey, click. Loading dock A. So all of them are unlocked. Drawing an event card. And another tarot card. Whoop. It has been 0 days since... did you hear what happened to George? Whenever a victim in a rack space panics to a normal space, it is killed. Nice. I don't know how they would panic to not a normal space. Because the only thing's a 1 is if they panic. Yeah, just workplace accidents. How nice. Oh, and I draw the next tarot card. Let's play a game. Ah, well, another victim. So a victim that matches in a in a search space away furthest from me, in a search space adjacent to you. All right. Well, it's always happened to just be literally as I rescued someone. So it's going to be... let's do the supervisor. That sounds fun. The infestation box. You're in a box filled with venomous spiders, snakes, and other deadly creatures. It's just a matter of time before one bites. You're going to have to stay very, very quiet and still. Okay. No, not the supervisor. So first thing I have to do is break the lock, which is 2 damage, 3 damage. Then open the box 4 times. Lastly, pull the victim free. Move 1 space. Move 2 spaces. Because the traps are all unfair. Well, that's kind of obnoxious. Oh, gotta find the trap. There it is. Okay, so there's that. I lose a lot of horror if that's the case. But I do want to start saving the rest of these people, because then there's no more traps, and that would be very obnoxious if the last trap... I mean, they're going to die. They're going to die as soon as they show up, hopefully. And hopefully that's the last one. So let's focus, because I just need to lower horror by 1. Okay, that's enough. Still losing time, but I don't need time. Oh, I do, but not right now. So lowering horror makes that a little bit easier. Then we're going to focus again. Whoops. Okay. Gonna lower horror again, losing time. Then, I mean, I'm definitely not wasting a Furious Strike on the infestation box. There's no way. Because I want my weak attack. That'll be the one, because I get +2 to attacks made. And I can spend the time, and then I can move. So then the question is, I think I'm getting a walk back. So let's get this person out while we can. 2 successes, that's nice. So let's move 2, still spending time. So it's like, let's go 1. You're saved, which gives me a time back. And... Alright, coming back. Come back, just wanted to get them out of here. Just want to get them out of here. And that's it. I'll hold on to the rest of these cards. I have 4 time. So let's grab a sprint. My zeros. That was 2 time for the sprint. And just in case, let's grab a guard. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. 1, 2, all zeros. And then we have this advancing. So 1 terror and last card anyway. You have no respect for life, God. Place all untrapped victims. That's brutal. Okay. If no victims are trapped, there is one. Panic all untrapped victims in spaces with a death trap. There are none, because I actually just got them out. If I'm in a space with a trapped victim, I panic and lose a life. Yes, as I'm walking back in, one of the snakes. Yes, and I'm like, oh Jesus! So now I panic, which is a 6. I guess I panic up onto the rafters. Can I? Yeah, sure. I guess I do. And if no one panic, bloodlust goes up. All right. That is that. Then we have upkeep. There are no terror cards left. So now the finale. Oh God, game over. That's brutal. And now we gotta see where she shows up. Right over there. That is pretty far away. I'm gonna kill her, because otherwise that's gonna be pretty nasty, I think. So I think I can get there, because I have low horror. I'm just like, as I panic and climb up the rack, I'm like, wait a minute, is that her? She's like walking out, just like carrying a, what is she holding? A drill. Doing the zzz, ready to get her ass blasted. So now, that's it. Action phase. We are gonna sprint. 1, 2, 3. I see her. Oh, I'm ready. I've been raging up this whole time. Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Like I got 3 successes. I did get 2 though, so that's gonna move 3. So get behind me. Oh well, you know what? Let's just do a critical blow with. Yes. At the end, I could have swapped. Rearrange items. Let's put that magnum in my hand. Even though I'm holding the chainsaw, I want to shoot her in the face. So, the 44 Magnum cannot modify the weak attack action card. That's fine. It can modify the critical blow. So, let's go ahead and spend close call and re-roll. We'll re-roll this one. Hell yeah. 6 and a 5, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, lowering terror. Magnum is 4, so just rock him and just get behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, gonna walk. Just one space, that's all I need. So she's shot, she's just like, ah! I respect life! I'm gonna lose time. And then I'm gonna do weak attack. Which is gonna be 1, 2, 3. That's 2 6s, baby. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 damage because of Mandy's ability. So that's 1, 2. And let's hope that she's officially dead. I feel like she should be. And hell yeah. Just shot. She's just, and I just walk up and just boom. Suck it. And she's dead. How nice. Alright, so that was the Tormentor at Marrek Warehouse. And for the record, this finale is brutal because would have been advancing traps twice, which in this case would have made horror go up by 3 times just on this person. Moved her movement. I mean, she wasn't that strong, but would have moved, targeted me or a victim, which to do 2 damage, and then done it again. But I think in terms of the Tormentor, she's not meant to fight. That's why she hides the entire game. And I find that really fascinating because there's not many killers that aren't involved at the entire time. You're pretty much playing the traps and the location, which I find incredibly fascinating. This would be one that I think would go over really well, or at least really interesting at other locations with the Tormentor, because all these traps are getting put in. Yeah, they're clearly the same traps, but they're it would highlight the way the locations function a lot more. And then by the end of it, then she eventually shows up. And I like the fact that she kind of quickly goes through the terror deck, but she doesn't really have a lot of power. She doesn't affect your stuff all that much. It's incredibly fascinating. I like it quite a bit. I think that the traps are very inspired by Saw, and they're not brutal, but they're something you don't want to ignore. And I like that. I like how, okay, I need to spend a damage or spend an attack card to break the lock, or I need to you have to weigh, do I want to spend all my time to advance on this trap and get nothing, or do I want to wait and risk it to be able to kind of get something now instead of for next turn, and hope that it doesn't ramp up and end up killing the person. But that's kind of a very interesting take on this game, where you will play action cards in a different order than you normally would, where it's like, okay, if I burn through all my cards, I'm not going to have any time to even get anything left, so then I wait a whole round of pretty much doing nothing except having the killer go twice in a row, essentially. So I like that a lot. I think the Tormentor doesn't hide for too long. I was kind of worried that the game was going to keep going on. It's like, well, I can't win until she shows up. There's no alternate win condition. So I was worried that she's just going to hide the entire time, and by that point, it's boring. But it worked out really, really well that she finally showed up, and I was prepped for her to show up. So you get to kind of plan ahead and be like, when she finally gets here, then she's about to get it. And I think it was paired up really well with the items I got, as well as the ability I had, and where she happened to show up with the cards I also had. So it was a perfect situation. And the fact that if you're able to keep the traps in check, doing one at a time, instead of kind of ignoring it and having 3 traps out where multiple things are happening, where they all advance, and then it's you're losing three horror and a ton of time and taking damage. And because if the traps go off and then you also get trapped, that would be very difficult to manage. But if you're able to stay on top of it, then I think it goes over really well. As for the warehouse with the rack spaces and the climb and leap cards, it's fine. The locations so far in Series 3 have been, I feel like, a lot more situational. The rack ended up increasing bloodlust a lot because all the victims panicked to it and then they all fell off and died, versus me having to go up there and save them. But then if I can get the forklift, I can get them off. So, because there's that risk of them falling. So it's very simple. I actually didn't mind the exits being locked and having to either find a way to unlock them or wait for the terror deck to guarantee get them out. That also happened to work out really well for me because the main entrance got unlocked pretty early on. And if all those click cards could theoretically be at the very bottom. So if you're not saving anyone, if you're not able to get them out. But if you're able to get them out, then the victims, the trap, there's no one to trap. So there's a really good balance there. So I really like this one. I think this was an awesome, very unique box set. So with the Tormentor and Marrek Warehouse, I think I'm going to give it an 8. I really enjoyed it. I think this would be one of the more dynamic mix and matching of, maybe not so much with the Warehouse. I think the Warehouse could be cool for almost anyone, but the Tormentor at other locations would be very different. So I like that. And that's it. That's whatever this one was called. The Marrek Murders. So I hope you're enjoying. Stick around for the rest of Series 3. And like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.